In this demonstration, we'll review quite a few things. We are going to add new folders, add new roles, add new users to the roles, and then we'll publish a report to the new folder and apply some row-level security to that folder and that report. Then what we'll do is we'll create another folder, another role, and another user to show how row-level security can work with the same report in multiple folders. To create new folders, we click on the administration link that takes us over to the administration pages. From there we have the options to create new folders, so we go to the Setup Document Folders link. This lists all the existing folders that we already have in the system, and we're going to create a new folder called USA Sales. Click the Add link, and then that creates the folder. It also applies that folder to the administration role. So if you're logged in as an administrator, you immediately see that new folder that currently has no reports in it. What we want to do also is create roles for that folder. So what we do is we go over to the Setup Roles page, which lists the roles that we currently have in the system. Click Add New Role, which opens up a tabbed page that has the fields in it to add. We can add a description, and then we can add if this role will be an administrator, publisher, scheduler. In this case, it's just going to be for people to view reports, so we're not going to check any of those boxes. On folder security is where we determine which folders this role can look at, and we are going to let them view reports that live in the USA Sales folder. So we'll add that, which adds it to this list at the bottom. We also have the ability to add users directly from this. So we are going to add Jeff and Brenda. And then we'll click Save, and that saves the role. Here's our new role, USA Sales, with no ability to administrate, publish, or schedule reports. From here we can go and review what we've just done. So we've added a new folder called USA Sales, and from the Setup Roles and Folder Security we can see we've added a role with the same name as that folder. They're two different things. One's a folder, one's role, but it's also called USA Sales. And then while we were doing that, we also set up some users. And we can see those users, Jeff and Brenda, and they both are in the USA Sales role. So next what we'll do is we're going to go back to administration, and we'll add another role, add new role, and this one is going to be called USA Sales Publisher. And what we want to do here is we're going to add a new role that allows a user that belongs to this role to publish and schedule reports. And we're going to add the USA Sales folder to this role. And we can add another user. We'll add that user. And then that allows us to have a user that can just publish and schedule reports to the USA Sales folder. So if we went back out and log in as Zane, he has the ability to see reports or documents in the USA Sales folder, but he can also schedule and publish reports. Now let's use that new user that we created earlier called Zane. We'll log in as Zane, and again he's part of the USA Publisher role, and that role was allowed to schedule and publish reports only to the USA Sales folder. So what we want to do here is we're going to publish a new report, and here we can pick what type of document we're going to publish. This is going to be a Crystal Reports document, and it's going to be account statements for USA. And again, we only have the option of putting this report into the USA Sales folder since that's the roles only folder. We'll browse for the file, and this is grabbing the file off of my C drive. And then optionally we can set the report author's name and contact, or whatever you want to put in here. We'll put a phone number in. And dynamic pick list would allow us to dynamically add to the parameter pick list if this report had parameters. This is dimmed out, kind of telling us that this report does not have parameters. And once we click Save, what it will do is it will add an entry to the Ripplestone database about this report, and then upload the report from our local hard drive up to the server. And then once the report is published, we can see that it's now available to be run. And while we're in publishing mode, you can also edit and delete that report. If we move back to the home page, we'll see that we can't edit or delete from this page, but we can still see the report. Next, what we might want to do is log out, and we'll log in as just a user of that group. So Jeff. And you can see Jeff is part of the USA Sales role, which does not allow publishing or scheduling. We can only run the report from here. So now we have a new folder called USA Sales and a new role called USA Sales with some users. And if we log into one of the users that is part of the USA Sales roles, you can see that they can see that folder, and they can also see the report. If they run the report, you see that they see data from all the different countries that are in the database. So not only do they see USA, but they'll see Canada, England, Germany, etc. What we might want to do is use a feature in Ripplestone called row level security that lets us filter that data so that the USA Sales group and role only can see data from the USA stores. And to do that, we need to be logged into as an administrator. So I'm going to log off as Jeff, log on as administrator, go over to the administrator section, and under Setup Row Level Security link, if we click on that, we see a grid that shows any other existing row level security. And what we want to do is set up one for that USA Sales group. So we pick USA Sales from the role list. For folders, we say USA Sales. For the table, we'll say Customer. For the column, we'll say Country equals USA. And we'll click Add. And so what we just did is we added a new row level security for anybody that is in the role of USA Sales, and for any report that is in the folder for USA Sales. If that report has a table called Customer, then we're going to further filter the data coming back from the database to be where country is equal to USA. If we click OK, we'll go back to home. And now to test this, let's log out as administrator and log back in as Jeff. And again, Jeff is a user in the USA Sales role. And now if we run that report, we see that the data has been further filtered so that we don't see any of those other countries. We just see the stores from the USA. And again, we didn't change the report to do that. What we did is we left the report as it was, but we filtered the data dynamically as it was coming back from the database to show only the things that we want to show. The advantage of doing this is we don't have to change reports, and that we can use that same report in a number of ways and filter it and give it that security without having to go back and change the report every time we want to change something. As our last step, let's create a new role, and we'll use that same report account statements to show how we can use that same report without changing the report to show different data. So let's start off by logging in as administrator. Going over to the administration, we're going to set up a new role. And we'll create a new role for Canada. We'll use a little shortcut to create a new folder, and we'll grant access to that folder. And let's add a new user called Mick, and click Save. So what we've just done is we created a new role called Account Statement Canada. We've also created a new folder called Canada, and we've created a user called Mick, who is part of the Canada role. And if we go to that new folder, we can see we don't currently have a report, so let's go publish a report to that. And let's pick that same report, and again it's just the account statement report, which normally brings back all data. And we'll add an author, some contact information, and now we're ready to publish this report. And now the report's been published. If we ran the report right now, since we haven't added any row-level security, we can see that we see Canada, but we see all the other countries also. To change this report so that we have row-level security on it, again we need to go back to administration, click on Set up row-level security, and we're going to pick the role Account Statement Canada. We'll pick Canada as the folder, and then the criteria would be the same as before. Country equals, but this time we'll say Canada. And now when somebody logs in, so let's log out, we'll log in as Mick. And we run that report, we'll see that the row-level security filtering this report just for Canadian companies is taking effect. So we see the account statements for the 2 Canadian companies and no other stores for any of the other countries. We've covered a lot of features in this demonstration. To review, we've added a new folder, role, and user, and then published a report, and then further enhanced that report with row-level security. This was for the USA sales. And then we added another folder, role, and user for Canada, and again published the same report, but again used row-level security to just show account statements for Canada. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. If you'd like more information about Ripplestone, please visit our website at www.ripplestone.net, or you can give us a call at 888-767-4692. Thanks.